honestly, that one small change just makes the reel take off. And again, it could be like a brand new audience that is now finding you, and then begin following you, and then you build that like and trust with them, and then they might convert into somebody who is purchasing your offers or joining your programs or buying your workshops. Welcome to the Bold Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Jen Kinnell, and this is a space where bold moves meet inspired action. Join us as we dive into stories, strategies, and mindset of those who are building their dreams, creating impactful communities, and redefining success on their terms. Whether you're looking for practical business tips, a boost of inspiration, or a community that gets your vision, you are in the right place. Get ready to elevate your journey and embrace what it means to be a bold founder. Let's dive in. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Bold Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Jen Kinnell, and today we are diving into a new feature that is on Instagram right now that I am really enjoying. And so this is trial reels. So I don't know if you've seen this yet, if you've tested it out, if you're like, I've tried it and don't get it at all. We are going to go through this entirely today. This is something that is pretty brand new, and I've been experimenting with it for the past little bit. And honestly, I really think it's amazing because it's just such a great opportunity to expand your reach and get in front of new audiences. Show up and put yourself in those places rather than posting on your own social media and then waiting for the algorithm to pick you up. I just think this is such a huge asset that we should be taking advantage of. In today's episode, I'm going to go through what are trial reels, because if you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, we'll go through that. We're going to talk about why you should be taking advantage of them right now. Like, what is the point? Because we spend so much time on social media as it is. If I'm going to be on it more, or if I'm going to put my focus into something, why? I want to know why. There needs to be like a good return on this. I'm going to share with you how I'm using it in my business and for my own strategy. And then I'm just going to give you a few simple rules to kind of follow to just make it like, okay, well, I understand what trial reels are now. I understand how Jen's using it, but how can I implement it? So I've got a couple like rules to follow just to get you going. These are not like stick to them all the time rules, but it's just kind of like a great way to get your toes in the pool, right? This episode is going to be a fun one. It's going to be easy to understand. And I promise by the end, you're going to be like, I think I'm ready to try this. Because as much as every time Instagram gives us some new feature, we're like, means like, what do you remember when stories came out and everyone was like, oh, I have to put on stories and I have to go live, like I have to post all these time to stories, and nobody wanted to because nobody wanted to show their face, and now it's become so much more of a norm and people are way more comfortable with it. You can see stories are constantly going. They've even like introduced algorithm into the stories, and I promise you this is a really cool feature that you're gonna like. It's honestly not gonna take that much more extra time. You could put more time into it and have like more experimenting with it, because that basically is what a trial reel is experimenting. And you're going to leave this episode and be like, okay, I'm going to give it a try. And then you might be like, okay, that kind of was cool how that worked. Now I'm going to try a couple more. So let's start with the basics. What are trial reels? Trial reels are essentially Instagram's way of letting you test your content. Like it's honestly, it's amazing to be able to be like, okay, let's just see if this content works. Like, yeah, maybe I've played it for my audience. Maybe let's try it out in an audience that doesn't follow me and see how they're responding to it. Because our audience already most likely has fallen in love with who you are, your personality, your brand. So they're going to react a little bit different than newer audiences. So it's kind of a great way to say, okay, if I post this on my content, how likely is this topic to go into the Reels feed? Well, now we can just pop it into the Reels feed and then test to see how it works. And it's really important to know here that your trial reels are not being shown to your audience. It is only being shown to people who do not follow you, which is amazing because it's putting you in front of completely new audiences that are not following you, didn't know you existed, and it's rewarding you like for playing around with these new features. You're getting put in front of the people that could be your people. I like to think of this feature as like, this is your first impression. You get to play around and see what is like attracting people and what is not attracting them. It's kind of funny because sometimes I post things in the trial reels and then I'm like, oh, this is going to do so good. And then it flops. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And I've learned over time that these people, remember, they're not following you. They're fresh eyes on your content. And they're going to be able to say, hey, if you ever get put into the reels tab, are these people who are not following you going to like instantly gravitate to you? Or are you only making content that really speaks to your current existing audience? So maybe this is like why you're not getting put into the Reels tab that often. It's just like, honestly, it is such a little playground that you get to play around with. It is a great opportunity for you to experiment, test your hooks, to test your video, to test the length, to test your captions, and just see what works and what doesn't. So I do want to say that we are still going to use it intentionally. We don't just want to you could just throw everything in there, but that would be a lot of work without any strategy behind it. And then maybe you're just posting just to post. We want to start really looking at how we're using it with intention so that we can get that ROI. We want the return on all our investment, our time and our energy that we're putting into these, but also that knowledge that we're getting into the content that is pulling in people that don't follow us. But also maybe this content is also really good for our current audience too. Here's why I'm kind of obsessed with trial reels right now. They expand your reach beyond your current followers, which is huge for discovery. And we're not just playing with the algorithm. We're not just posting it to our feed and hoping that the algorithm pulls us into the Reels tab. It is actually just putting us in the Reels tab. And if you've been on social media for a while and you've been talking about the same content, Instagram will have started to understand what you were speaking on and kind of categorized you. They know that I talk about social media. So whenever somebody is in their Reels tab on their phone, and they're scrolling social media, they're going, oh, this person's looking at social media. Let's put any social media content into their Reels tab and see what sticks. That is where my trial Reels is going to go into there because it's social media. They're searching social media. That's how the algorithm is working for us. This is a huge impact because it's allowing us to potentially get seen by people that do not follow us and be seen immediately as their expert because we're giving them content that shows us as their expert in our target, in our niche. I personally really love this because it has allowed me and will allow you to really experiment with your styles, your hooks, and any ideas without actually touching your main feed. So it's kind of a cool thing because you can play around with okay, I'm thinking about this hook, and you can test it multiple different ways. So instead of let's say if we wanted to post that on our feed, we would have to probably post it once, and then a couple weeks later, we would post it again, maybe with a different video, maybe the same video, but we just changed the caption on it. But then a couple weeks later, because you can't post 5 of the same video and you're just adjusting the hooks all in a row, it looks really weird and your audience is going to be like, I don't get it. But with the trial reels, we could take, let's say if I posted today, I could take that post and take that exact same post, put it into the trial reels, and then make 4 more copies of it, but I tweaked the hook. And I've done this where you actually the same video and you're okay, well, let's see if I change the text to be this way. Let's see if I change the hook to be a little bit more of a negative hook. Let's say if I change it to be a little bit more of a storytelling vibe. What is instantly capturing people's attention who are not following me, right? I just love this idea because we get to really experiment. And experiment all at the same time. So you're okay, let's see what this video does with these changed captions. And because I've said this before, if you're using Instagram's new features, you are getting rewarded for it. So yes, trial reels has been around for a little bit now. Not everybody's taking advantage of it. I mean, it sounds intimidating. And when I first did it, I was like, this is dumb. I didn't do anything. But then I didn't know how to use it properly. And I think once you realize how to use it and how to play with it, that is when the magic happens. So I want you to think when you are using your trial reels, you are getting in front of so many people that you've never met, that they've never met you, they've never heard you speak, they've never been introduced to you through stories. It is completely their first presentation of who you are. It's their first second to get to know you. It's their instant of I like you, or I want to know more about you, or let's continue the scroll. So this is an incredible opportunity because it's a brand new audience with so much potential. There's no ads, there's no overthinking, there's no cluttering up your grid. It honestly is just let's try it. Let's see how it goes. You can delete it at any time. It doesn't exist on your grid. Nobody who follows you can actually find it. I really love it, and I cannot tell you how much. I think it's going to be a really, really big impact in how you show up, but also how you grow. Okay, so let's go over the rules. And like I said this very lightly, there's not really strict rules on it. I just want you to have a guideline for what you're doing. And I want you to remember that these people have never seen you before. They don't know your story, they don't know anything about you, which means we need to be really strategic in making content that is specifically for them, because we can't just jump into our story when they don't know who we are and what our story is. So we need to show up as their expert. This is your chance to grab their attention in those first few seconds before they scroll on. And this is really important. We really have to capture them. We need to make sure our hook is strong, our video content is strong, we've got good visual content, it's not poorly lit. We want to just make sure they're like, okay, yep, I understand. I want to see more about this girl right now. I want to read the caption. I want to go into her portfolio. This is a great opportunity to showcase who you are. But again, we need to use those tools that we keep in our pocket where we're like, okay, we got to do this quick. We got to capture their attention. We got to tell them why I'm the person they need to listen to. So we need to stop the scroll. Rule number 1, hook fast. I've said this over and over and over again on probably every podcast I've done now. You need to hook them in the first 1 to 2 seconds. I've always said 3 seconds. I just think like, how do I scroll? I probably go 1 to maybe 2 seconds to maybe 3 seconds. And then I'm on to the next one if it doesn't capture my attention, right? So we need to really make sure we think about how we stop. Use curiosity, use controversy, use value right up front. We just need to be really like, boom, this is why you need to watch the rest of this video. Boom, this is why you need to follow me. You need to come and check out my portfolio, which is my grid. I just call it portfolio. We just need to make sure we capture their attention right away. This is with any reel, whether it's in your trial reels or in your grid. Number 2, I want you to make sure that you are keeping it simple. We cannot assume that they know who we are and what we do. So we need to skip any intros. We need to just get straight to the point. At one point, we were really encouraged through Instagram and even TikTok to be like, hey, thanks for following. I'm Jen. Like, and you would start with an intro. Or you'd be like, you kind of say what your little snippet is, and then you'd be like, I'm Jen Kinnell. And you'd say that. We don't do that anymore because people are like, yeah, I don't have time for that. I already follow you, or it doesn't really matter. I'll fall in love with you once I decide if I'm going to move forward. We need to make sure it's super simple. We capture their attention and it's straight to the point. And to be honest with you, I do think that is how all your reels should also be. So this is trial reel and like normal grid specific. Next, we're going to deliver value really quickly. Obviously, again, with the scroll of people's attention not being there anymore, we need to make sure that we are educating, inspiring, or entertaining, and we need to make it clear and why they should be there really quickly up front. And they're going to be like hooked, right? And then finally, we want to end with curiosity. So tease what's next, add a caption, make them want to visit your page. So when we're doing that hook, we're going to be like, okay, here's 5 things in the caption that tell you how to do whatever. And then they're like, I want to know what those 5 things are. We need to create that curiosity that allows them to go dive further with us. Are they diving into our caption? Are they going from our caption into wherever we're sending them? If it's comment podcast, we want them to listen to the podcast. Let's make sure they know that is their next step. How are we bringing them into more? And to be honest, the goal here with trial reels is not to sell. These people are brand new to us. They've not been warmed up to us. They don't know anything about us. Our goal here is to be educating them on our topic so that they are like, oh, this person knows what she's talking about. I want to know more information. And then they can come to your page and then they can start falling in love with you. We're not trying to sell them right now because they don't know you from anyone. Like, they have not bought into who you are. They don't know anything about your products. We just need to welcome them in and be like, I'm your girl for this. So I want to share a little bit about how I'm using trial reels for my own strategy. And then also just like what I've seen that's been working and what I've seen that's not. And I will say trial reels, especially lately, is like glitching on me. Maybe because I'm using it more though, and I'm posting more into the trial reels area. And so sometimes the post will be like take off immediately. And then sometimes it'll just hold. And I'm like, why has no one seen this yet? So don't expect it to be like, bam, overnight. It's still glitchy. This is still Instagram. This is still like tech. It's going to happen. But what has worked really well, I was like, oh, I really love this. Some of the videos though too have worked really well. I'm like, I don't even understand. But this is the point of trial reels because you can play around with things. And that's the great beauty of this like new tool. Okay, so step 1 for me is I reuse what I already have. I like to keep things simple. I don't like to create too much content and work for myself. I'm already posting every single day, and that's a lot. And sometimes even twice because like usually on podcast days, I might have 2 on there, but I'm posting every single day. I don't need to be adding extra stuff. So I reuse what I already have. So if I have content that I'm posting that day, I will make a duplicate copy of that in my drafts. And then I will take the duplicate and post it strictly to the trial reels. If you don't know where this is, let's say you go in and you make a reel. On every single reel, there's a little slider icon. If you slide down in your reels, there's a little slider icon that you can turn on trial reels. And then if you turn on trial reels, it will only go to your trial reels. It will not go to your feed. Okay, so it's that simple, super easy to do. So I will post one reel, like Reel 1A is my one that goes to the feed, and Reel 1B is the one that goes to trial. And they will be exactly the same. So I know that my audience is going to see that one, and then B is going to go just to the people that do not follow me. This is the easiest way to just test the waters out and see how it goes, but also just really expand your reach. I feel like this is more of a like, let's just post to both places and see how it does. And we're not really experimenting with it, but we are just making sure that the trail reels is going to people that do not follow us. This is how I started doing this with social media, is I started just doing the two, right? And then I can see how it performs for people that are not following me. And you can see how it performs with people who are. So specific content that is more geared to like the people that already know me performs very well in my feed, but sometimes it doesn't perform that well for trial reels, which is why I know that when people come and they watch your feed on the trial reels, they don't know who you are and they haven't fallen in love with you, who you are in your brand. So we need to get like really specific on the type of hooks we are creating, on the type of content we're putting in there. I still think even though you haven't, it's not like a specific trial reels content piece, put them in both. Why not? It's just to play around with it anyways. So what I've started doing is I used to just create reels and they would all be my drafts and I'd be like ready for them to post, right? And then that day would come, I would post it and be done. So now what I've done is I make a reel for Monday, and Monday's all ready, then I'll create duplicates. So you can just click the three little dots on the side of the reel when you're in the drafts folder, and you can click duplicate. And I will make multiple duplicates. So one will be my original, two will be my trial reels, and then let's say three will be extra. And the extras, you don't need to post them right away, or you could, entirely up to you. But those three, and it could be more, but those three are the ones that I'm going to change the hook a little bit. I'm going to change what the caption is. Maybe I'll change what the call to action is. Those three are the ones I'm going to play around with. And like I said, I've actually gone ahead and posted all three at the same time with just different hooks because I just wanted to see, like, everything was the same. Caption was the same. The video was the same. Just the text on the reel, the hook was different. And I wanted to see if I changed the wording a little bit, if that it made people follow it more or less. And it was amazing because I think I posted 4 that day of the same one, and 2 really took off. And both of those 2, I can't remember exactly the hook I used, but they were very similar in their language. And then the other 2 were worded differently. They were softer. They weren't as an aggressive of a hook. So it's just really interesting to see, even though the same topic, same caption, just changing the wording on the hook, how it shifted, how many people saw the reel or not, and if it got pushed out further in the algorithm or not. And then after you start playing around with it, start looking at it, start studying it. So I look at those reels and I'm like, well, why did those 2 perform better than the other 2? Like, they're the same content, but different wording. What makes it different? And to me, like I said, one was a little bit more of an aggressive hook, right? And so what I've also done now is, because I have a whole bunch of drafts, a whole bunch of different videos, I'll go back to my reels and I'll be like, okay, this one did really well on my main grid. This is the hook I used. I will take that hook and I'll put it on a different video. It's basically the same thing I've already posted, but I'm just changing the B-roll, testing the B-roll to see if that makes a difference. And then I'll post it again and see how it does. Or I had one hook that did really well. Actually, it wasn't even a hook. It was me just showing, it was a hack. I was showing you how to, like, if you pinch your screen, it removes all the stuff on the side. And that's not something people knew about. And so I just posted that a couple times over the last month to see if maybe it was just the one time it went viral, or if it was like a fluke, or if there's like, this is something people wanted to see more of. Maybe I need to post more hacks, right? This is a great way for me to decide, do I want to do more hook content? Do I want to do some hacks? Sometimes the hacks take longer, which means it's a longer video past the 7 seconds, and then you do have more drop off. It's just so much trial and error and playing around with it. But when you actually get into it and you study it and you start to look at why, it's really, really cool to see why this one did so well and this one didn't. And you can start drawing conclusions and then start creating more content that is specifically geared to that. So we're going to look, is it the hook? Is it the visual? Are you speaking? Is it your tone? Is it the pace? Is it the length of the video? What is it, the audio? Are you using a trending audio? Maybe you should use a different one. It honestly is such a great way for you to play around. Like, you could, again, have the exact same reel and just change your audio 4 different times. See which audio picks up better. Go ahead. You could go actually into Instagram is now telling you what is the top trending audio, like 1 all the way down to I don't even know when it ends. But let's say you do trending audio 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you just use the same hook. You could play around with this stuff and just like see. You're just gonna play with music on one. You're just gonna play with hooks on one. You're just gonna play with the B-roll on one. Everything else stays the same. It's really like honestly, it's so simple. You're just changing little things and you're testing to see what it does. And then once we see the results, we're gonna start like tweaking them and changing them and seeing what we need to adjust and what we can remove or what we can change the video on. See what your audience likes. It honestly, it's so great for just seeing that, but then also, yeah, you're putting yourself out. If I look at my reach, it has grown since I've done that. So I'm going to keep doing that. And I'm going to keep playing around with it. And you don't need to do this every day. You could just have your drafts and when you're sitting in like a doctor's office, you can be like, well, I'm just going to play with these hooks. I'm just going to adjust it and I'll just post it while I'm waiting because I'm stuck in a waiting room, right? Like this is not meant to be like your be all end all strategy. It's just like an amazing way to start learning what your audience wants from you and play around with it and not have it show on your grid. Like nobody knows that you're doing this. It's all behind the scenes. And there's been people that I followed that I was like, she's so cool. I just love it because of the way her content is. So just think this could be changing the hook text. It could be swapping out the audio. It could be adjusting your caption or adjusting the length of the video for a better flow. Honestly, that one small change just makes the reel take off. And again, it could be a brand new audience that is now finding you and then begin following you. And then you build that like, know, and trust with them. And then they might convert into somebody who is purchasing your offers or joining your programs or buying your workshops. And I just want to throw this little bonus tip in there. When I'm going through and I'm like scrolling through and trying to see like the trends that I love, or if I'm looking to see, hey, this person's using this hook. I really like this hook. How can I put a spin on it? I take all that content and then I put it into my Bold Marketing Calendar. So you can use your Bold Marketing Calendar as your idea bank also, right? So you can go in there and be like, okay, I'm going to play around with these 4 reels, but what do I want to talk about? Let's say we're going to change the topic on all of them, but we're going to keep the video exactly the same, right? So let's go into the Bold Marketing Calendar and see if there's any hooks that we were like, oh, I really wanted to do this. Use that calendar as your idea bank so you can always come back to it. So that way when you're sitting in the doctor's office and you're waiting, you're not just like, okay, well, what can my hook be? I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I need to go find that email. No, you've already got it all in one place. And you can just be like, I'm going to test this, this, and this. And I have time because I'm doing nothing waiting, right? Like perfect time to do that. And then you've already got an idea bank. That's what I use my Bold Marketing Calendar for entirely also. It's just an idea bank of all these ideas that I want to do. Because yes, I also save them in Instagram, but I can't add my opinion on every reel. Like when I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I think I would like to do it this way. And I save it, but if it's an Instagram, it's not saved with my idea, right? Whereas I can put it into the Bold Marketing Calendar in Trello, save the video, but then also be like, we should do it this way. And that way, when I come back to it, I'm like, oh yeah, that was such a good idea, right? It's already all there and saved. And then finally, I just want you to have fun with it. The beautiful thing about trial reels is they're a trial and they're not even going to your current audience. So they're going to people who are, yes, they're going to be looking for your category, like what you're talking about, your niche. You're going to get slotted into that Reels tab feed, but don't overthink it. Have fun with it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I have a reel that I put into the trial Reels feed. I put the same thing. I put one into my normal feed and one into the trials reel feed. And the one in my feed did really well, but the one in the trial reels did really well, except it removed the video. It's just a black screen with my text and it did so well. And I was like, that's crazy. But like, don't overthink it. I didn't even delete it. I left it. I was like, whatever. If it's doing well, let them look at this black screen and be like, who is this person who's posting a black screen? One person was even like, this isn't a good representation of how you should use this. And I was like, well, I wrote back and I'm like, well, it was a video of me on it, but then Instagram just like took my video off and made it a black screen. But I'm not sorry for it. Like it happened, performed really well. Let's see how it keeps doing. And then I went ahead and recreated it with me in it and put it in trial reels, right? Like, so this is your chance to experiment. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to match our grid. We don't even like, yeah, that you can still put a cover photo on it, but nobody sees the cover photo when you post it to trial reels because it's not living anywhere. It's just like out there. So do not overthink it. This is just a chance to play around, get creative, and just find your voice again. Like play around with what your audience or not your audience yet wants from you. It's such a great way to like narrow down your content. And honestly, you might actually find it a little bit refreshing because you don't have to be perfect. Like you can just post to post. We can post the same video over and over and over again, and nobody's gonna know. There's one follower that I found on Trial Reels, and she doesn't even speak English, but I love her videos, and I'm pretty sure I see them all the time. She uses kind of the same video, or she'll mix them up a little bit. She probably has like five the basic B rolls that she uses, and she just changes the words on them. But every time I see it, I'm like, her energy. She's so like trendy looking. I just love following her. And I just found her through Instagram trial reels because I do go through like, let's look at social media and then let's look at fashion. I just loved her content. And she was like a perfect example of somebody using trial reels really well because I did not follow her. She just kept popping up and popping up. And the algorithm was seeing that I was watching more of it. And so they kept giving me more of her content. So that's another thing. If you put it in trial reels, someone might see it and they might be like, oh, she is really good. And then Instagram is going to do you a favor and start showing that person more of your content, whether it be a trial reel or a feed content, but they're going to start showing more of that for that person because they've already shown interest in who you are. And you may not have gotten that opportunity with the trial reels. Like there's no way that this girl would have come in my feed because she doesn't even speak English. Like I don't even know where she is in the world, but I just like adore her content because her energy, right? Like I was totally magnetized by her energy. Can't even be the caption of the words because I can't understand it. I mean, you could do the translation, but her content actually wasn't even about anything that I was like more interested in. It's just her energy. So I was captivated by that. This is such a great opportunity for you to get in front of other people and captivate them. And who knows? It could be so incredible. I have had nothing but really good reviews of it on it. And even when my video got removed and it was just black with my text, still really enjoyed that. And I took that information as people liked that content. How can I give more of that kind of content? So if you've been feeling a little bit like meh about your content lately, I just want you to like challenge yourself. Pick one reel that you're going to post today, tweak it, and then post it to your trial reels tab. Do it in both places, right? And then when you're feeling a little bit more, I don't know, into it, want to give it a little bit more. Because like I said, I tried just doing like posting the same content in both areas. So one on my grid and one in the trial reels. And then I started like playing around with it. Okay, well, next, I was probably like a couple weeks even. Then I was like, okay, well, now let's graduate to posting a couple trial reels and just changing the text. And I don't do this every day. I do this when I have time. When I'm just like, oh, let's play around, right? So just have some fun, tweak it, listen, look at the results, see what's working, see what's not. I've actually even taken what I've learned from all the analytics of just changing how I'm working on social media and my strategy and created, instead of like posting what I was going to post on the podcast, I've shifted it to answer some of your questions and to give you more content on the reels that has been really successful, both in my trial and in my grid feed. I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys content that you guys are loving. And I'm really excited about today's podcast because this has been something that I don't think a lot of people play around with, but I think has a really big impact and the ability to get you in front of other people. And that is not something we've had a lot of with Instagram that we can control. And so I really love this idea of being able to just play around, have fun with it, but also it's putting you in front of new people. And if you want to keep learning strategies like this, how to stay on top of the trends, how to make the algorithm work for you, to plan your content with less stress, more ease, keeping it simple, make sure you're on my waitlist for the social edit. It's just this program that I'm creating for people that want to be on top of their game when it comes to social media, but just don't have the time to do all the research. So I'm going to do all the research, all the trends, all the like what's working, what's not. I'm going to be there encouraging you. This is just something I'm coming up and I cannot wait to actually fully launch it. So I'm just kind of like slowly trickling it in, but make sure you're on the wait list because honestly, I think it's going to be so impactful and huge for businesses, but also for you to like enjoy social media and not feel like you're just posting to post. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I'm really happy that I got a chance to share this with you guys because like I said, I've been playing around with it for a bit. I've really enjoyed the outcomes that have come from it. I'm really excited to share this because I don't think people are dabbling in enough because it's kind of like we don't really understand how to use it, right? If you don't know how to use it, you're going to be like me the first time when I did it. I was like, this is dumb. I'm not doing it, right? And then you're missing out on that opportunity. And the people that take advantage of these new tools get rewarded. So why not test it out? And if it's as simple as posting the same thing in both places, why not? Makes it easy. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I'm so happy you joined me today. If you want more information and strategy and to follow along more, then follow me on Instagram at @JenKennel. And I would love to hear what you loved about this podcast, hear what you want to hear more of, because I'm creating all this content for you guys because I want to see you guys succeed. So thanks again, guys. Have a wonderful day.